Yo, what's going on, Shuffle Squad YouTube? I hope you all having a fantastic day. I'm Vulcan Turtle, and today I'm going to be running you guys through the late night number 75 runner-up list. And let me tell you guys, if you don't like Lugia, if you don't like Regis, if you don't like anything else that is currently in the standard format, you're going to want to play this, because if you don't let your opponent play the game, you can't lose, right? But before we get into the list, definitely check out the description where you can find out how to sign up for a late night and try to win a free trip to Japan. And while you're down there, make sure you check out our amazing sponsors like Atlas Collectibles, where you can save a good amount of money on sealed and singles, and PTCGO Store, where you can save some money on codes for PTCGO and PTCGL. So let's jump into the list and also get into a game, huh? Alright everybody, before we get into the deck list, I wanted to show you guys Rendy Wise 19's run in late night 75 so you can see what they went up against in order to become the semi-finalists. So it was actually kind of an interesting phase one. They went up against 4 Regis out of the 8 games they played, which is just, wow, why? Like, why did that have to happen? But I will say this, and this should cover up just about every single Regi matchup, so we cover up half of what they went up against here. The Regi matchup is quite easy because if you can knock out 2 of the same Regis while also item locking, that means they can't ordinary rod that Regi back into the deck. Now, a smart Regi player will hold on to that Regi. However, that's where things can get a little difficult as well, because if you're knocking out Regi after Regi after Regi and they're just holding on to these Regis, they can't quick ball for them, right? So holding on to that Regi might actually end up hurting them more than it helps them. So they want to bench it, but when you knock out Regi after Regi after Regi and they can't actually like use quick ball to go get another Regi, and at the majority of Regi decks are only playing 2 capture energy to find the Regi that was knocked out, that's where things can get a little bit more difficult for the Regi player, because you can either target 2 of the same Regis, keep them in the discard, they can't ordinary rod them back in because they're under item lock, they can't accelerate energy onto a Regi to get a knockout. So Regieleki is obviously the most threatening Regi when it comes to this matchup because it hits for weakness. Even with a cape over a Vikavolt, easy day, done is done. And then they can't get the return knockout on you unless they use something like a Vikavolt, and that's where the Regi player wants to come in and kind of like take care of the situation. But if you play it just right, you can item lock them out of the game. You can put 2 Regis in the discard, keep them away from their ordinary rods, and just sweep from there. So really good job against these 4 Regi decks. Now we can see where maybe that strategy didn't come into Rendy's favor because they did lose in round 4 against a Regi, and that's where maybe the Regi deck was a little faster, maybe it got what it needed a little bit quicker, maybe they couldn't get what they needed as fast as they could, so Rendy had a little bit of a brick there. I mean, it depends on the situation, but as we can see, out of the 4 games that they played, they won 3 of them, so that's not bad by any means. Alright, so the Lost Box matchup. Lost Box is actually kind of an easier matchup as well. You're hitting Comfies for knockouts while item locking. They lose their access to Mirage Gates, so they're not building things up quite easily. One of the only Pokemon that they're really going to be able to get into easily would be Sableye. I say easily because if they can't get to 10 fast enough and you Marnie them, you disrupt them, you're knocking out Comfies quite quickly. They can't find their Colress's experiments as fast as possible to get up to that 10. Yeah, they're not going to really have a good time because they're not going to be able to build anything up for a knockout on your Vikavolt. Even if they could, if this is a version with Zamazenta with a cape on, even Zamazenta doesn't knock out Vikavolt. So it is a really rough matchup for the Lost Box deck. Now the Mew matchup I did skip over because I was just so impressed over the amount of Regis that Rendy played in late night 75, but Mew again is a very kind of easy matchup. It just I want to say easy. Now, there are a few things and a few variables that have to be taken into consideration, right? Mew is fast. That is undoubtable. That is an irrefutable fact. Mew can be extremely fast. If it can bench everything, if it can get what it needs, it can draw a bunch of cards. However, a lot of the times that Mew players are dumping cards from their hands is using cards like Cram-O-Matic, using cards like Ultra Ball, using cards like Quick Ball, dumping their power tablets because they can, and for the time being playing something down that they don't need to play down, like a Forest Seal. Forest Seal you could play down at any time, but maybe more like Choice Belt, you put down the Choice Belt, so you know you have extra cards that you can draw off the Fusion Strike system. But if you item lock them, you lock them out of their draw because they can't dump anything fast enough, and that is where Vikavolt can kind of come in a little clutch situation there, right? Because it's a double-edged sword. You're weak as any bug, you're just tiny, right? You don't hit for a lot of damage, you're not really here to do a lot of damage, but because your opponent's item locked, you're able to just build up the damage as you go along, because it doesn't matter how long it takes to get the knockout, you know you're gonna get there with very little fear along the way, because your opponent's not going to be able to play anything in order to counteract the actual item lock. So you're fine in that situation. Plus, we know one thing for sure, they play Drapion in this list. So that is where another really nice card comes in handy in the Mew matchup. Alright, Arceus Duraludon take the tie here, even though they had one more game left. I don't hate this whatsoever. It is a difficult matchup, and as we can see, that is actually who they lost to in the finals. It is an extremely difficult matchup because if they can get an Arceus down with a Duraludon, all they really need to do is just hit the Arceus V-Star. You're not blocking their Starbirth by any means. They know that they can swing over Vikavolt quite easily. Some of these lists are seeing maybe like one or two copies of Vacuum to get rid of things like, I don't know, it depends, like there's a few things that they would get rid of, like maybe a Big Charm, so that way if someone Big Charms a Dragonite, they know that they can play something like the Choice Belt so they can knock out Dragonite V. There's a lot of things that can go into a Duraludon VMAX list. However, I do personally think that this is a difficult matchup. You're not hitting anything for weakness. You're not getting Okos, and even just an army of Arceus can take you down quite easily, and then that Duraludon can come and finish it all up later on. So I can see where this is a difficult matchup. I can see why the tie was taken here. It makes a lot of sense, and it really worked out in Rendi's favor because in round 8 they paired up against Lugia, which is something they probably wanted to see, you know, in round 5, 4, 3, and 1 instead of all those Regis. But anyway, they take on the Lugia and they win, getting themselves in the top 8. Goodra is actually a really interesting matchup as well, because Goodra is a Pokemon that likes to build up off Mirage Gate, and you lock them out of the Mirage Gate. So that is actually really sick that they were able to come in, you know, take care of that, and it's no problem whatsoever. Top 4, they actually got into a mirror, but the big difference here is that this is not a Vikavolt Regieleki, so they were able to swing a little bit harder than the other Vikavolt list, which means that they were probably able to secure knockouts faster and more efficiently, and with less fear of losing their items as their opponent was, so that's not bad. Where finally in the semifinals, or in the finals, they lost and got a second place record against Arceus Duraludon. Like I said, it is a tough matchup and it makes sense, but props to Rendi Wise for such an amazing run here. Like, I look at it and I'm genuinely impressed. All those Regis just blow my mind too, but absolutely great job. Congratulations to you, Rendi. Let's get into PTCGO and just take a quick glance at the list. Alright everybody, this is the list that took second place in late night 75, and I gotta say, chef's kiss, this is a beautiful list. Now, one of the big changes that I notice here when it comes to actual like Vikavolt and Regieleki lists is that there's no Ditto V. A lot of lists were playing Ditto V and playing Vikavolt at 2 copies. However, I think by getting rid of that Ditto and utilizing Raikou and Drapion in a very situational way, it allows you to start the Vikavolt V quite easily. And if you do start the Regieleki V, which is played at 3 copies here, you can actually evolve into VMAX and then just retreat for free. It has free retreat. So the main goal is starting that Vikavolt, getting there as quickly as possible to item lock on your turn going second, or if you're going second, your first attack, getting that item lock down as fast as you possibly can. And there's a lot of ways to actually facilitate that, right? We have Greninja, so we can dump water energy into the discard, so we can Melony onto the Vikavolt V and then just attach a electric energy or a speed lightning energy to the Vikavolt, so that way we can item lock as fast as possible. If we're missing one of those cards, we do have Energy Search in the deck at 2 copies, so we know that we can get there. Plenty of gusting options as well. We have 2 copies of Boss's Orders as well as a copy of Serena in the list. Lots of search. We have 4 copies of Ultra Ball as well as 3 copies of Quick Ball. We want to get our Pokemon out as soon as we possibly can, so VIP Battle Pass does come in handy in a lot of these situations. Now, with all the search that's in this deck, you wouldn't think that you need it, but 2 copies of Stormy Mountains. Sometimes you just want to get that perfect setup. Maybe you hit 2 Regielekis, but you need that Vikavolt V. Stormy Mountains is there to help you out. Maybe you only got 1 Vikavolt or Regieleki V down, but you need 2 Regieleki V down in this specific matchup. Well, Stormy Mountains can get you that second Regieleki V, so I don't hate the fact that there are 2 Stormy Mountains in this list at all. I think it's a really good pick. Now, Temple of Sinnoh is actually a really interesting card in this list as well, because the majority of the meta decks that this actually does already just block on its own becomes even more disruptive, right? Because decks like Regis, right, rely on special energy. Decks like Lugia rely on special energy, and if they can't utilize anything like Quick Ball or Ultra Ball to get the Pumpkaboo, and if they can't use their Lost Vacuum because they're item locked, this is staying on the field for a hot minute until they just either draw into the Pumpkaboo or they just find a way to get rid of it by like attaching 2 double turbos. But even then, 2 double turbo energy isn't gonna do much because it's only 2 energy. So honestly, the 2 copies of Temple of Sinnoh here, really good if they're already under item lock. I really like this a lot, and I honestly personally would probably play that at 3, but hey, this is their list and I'm going to report it as is. Really awesome inclusion of the Temple of Sinnoh. Honestly, that is such a sick idea. Next up, 3 copies of Marnie, because disruption is always good when you're already disrupting your opponent enough by item locking them. 1 copy of Forest Seal Stone. Really good card in this because you can start alchemy for just that one last card that you need in order to complete some sort of really messy combo that maybe you're not going to be able to draw into off of Marnie's or Melony's or anything else. So the 1 copy of Forest Seal Stone, really nice. 1 copy of Choice Belt, just in case you do want to do that huge damage or utilize this on Raikou V, so that way you can get a huge knockout in the late game and just clean up and finish it all off. Lastly here, Cape of Toughness. I really like this. I really like this because it just says, hey, I know as Vikavolt I'm not swinging a lot, right? And that's why I have 60 extra damage modifier through Regieleki VMAX, so I can do 110. I could do 140 with Choice Belt to Vs, which means it's a 2-hit knockout against a Lugia V-Star if they have Dunsparce in play. However, I think the right play is to make Vikavolt V as bulky as possible to try to make it just that much harder to knock out Vikavolt V, because let's just say your opponent is playing something like Lost Box, right? If they're able to get to 4, because you got to remember, they're going to get at least 1 turn with their items. If they can get 4 cards in the Lost Zone, they can just come in with Cram and double hit the Vikavolt for knockouts, right? 2 hits. With the Cape of Toughness, you make that 3, and that's where things can get really tricky for a player like Lost Box. So I really like this list. Let's get into a game and see how it all works. All right, everybody, here we go. We are up against Doubles 23 here. Is that the Doubles 23? No way. That's funny. All right, well, I'm sorry, Doubles, you're about to get absolutely demolished here. Now, this is a really good start. We have ourselves the Vikavolt V here. We're going to item lock, no problem next turn, I think, because we do have 3 Battle VIP Pass in the hand. We are able to get a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and Battle VIP Pass and get ourselves another Vikavolt and a Greninja. That seems fine. Let's go ahead and VIP Pass again. Get ourselves 2 Regieleki V, because why not do that extra damage? It all seems fine to me. And we can just look in the deck one last time and see what else we might want. We can get... maybe we'll hold. We can keep that slot open for something like Lumineon. So let's go ahead and dump 1 energy into the discard here and see what we can find. Got ourselves a Raikou and an Energy Search. We're going to play that Energy Search. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves the energy here and put it on Vikavolt and pass the turn. This is a really strong start because now we can Ultra Ball, get Lumineon, get a Melony. We don't really have to do that either. We can disrupt with Marnie. We've left our options very open here. So let's hope and see what happens during their turn. VIP Pass start, always nice, as we saw just literally moments ago. All right, Comfey and Radiant Greninja. Okay, Oranguru, Comfey, and Greninja. Oh, don't tell me this is like Azul's list. That's actually going to be a really fun matchup here, because we might be able to win this due to item lock alone. So let's see if we can actually pull something off here. There's a Chorus's Experiment coming into play. What cards are you going to dump, my friend? Already getting built up. Because like I said, hey, with item lock decks, you know that they're at least going to get a single turn with their items, so they're probably going to capitalize on this as much as they can because they have the time to do so, right? They have a way to utilize their items. Why not use them now? Because you know that they're going to get locked out later. So really don't hate this move whatsoever. Another VIP pass, actually a really strong start, just as strong as ours. We had 3, they had 2. 2 is really all you kind of need, just to leave one slot open for a wild card, so you never really want to fill up everything unless you know exactly what it is that you're trying to build up here. So let's see if they have a switch option. They have a ton of cards in hand. They probably have at least one, an escape rope. You know, I don't hate that. Let's see here, what do we want to offer as tribute? Let's go ahead and give them... Oh, this actually became a tough decision. Let's give them a Regieleki V. We can give them a Regieleki V because we have the Ultra Ball in hand. We can get the VMAX. That's a free retreater. Now, the only unfortunate thing here is that if they get a Cramorant, they are going to be able to do 110 damage to the Regieleki V, which is not going to be fun for us at all, because that just makes the VMAX an easy target later on for cards like Sableye, which we don't want because that's 3 easy prizes just kind of sitting on the bench. But we'll see what happens. They could whiff the Cramorant. 4 cards already in the lost zone here. I highly doubt that they whiffed the Cramorant, though. I really do highly doubt that the Cramorant was whiffed. Okay, another lost zone flower selecting here. Let's see what they dumped. They get rid of Choice Belt. Okay, you know what? Don't hate that at all. 1 Mirage Gate already gone. Anything else interesting in the discard here? Ropes, nets. Okay. 1 water energy. That's another really cool thing about this matchup too, because one of the ways that they're getting their energy back from the discard is utilizing cards like Ordinary Rod, utilizing cards like Energy Recycler, and being able to lock them out of that is just going to be so sweet. It's just going to be so sweet. See here, another Compe. Do we see another scoop up net or switch? An escape rope. Okay, you know what? We're going to give you the Vikavolt back. I don't mind that, because I did have some concerns about having a 3-prizer sitting on the bench, or having a useless 2-prizer just not doing anything because I'm too scared to evolve it. So we'll give you the Vikavolt. We know it's going to take damage at least once or twice. We're fine with that. Let's see what the play next is. Oranguru something on top of the deck. Makes a lot of sense. And what do we have going on now? Another switch, another way to draw any Cramorant at all. Training card. Okay, you know what? Actually, that is one of the other ways that they can get their cards back. But at the end of the day, we have replacement stadiums, so it's not the worst thing. A Mirage Gate right out the bat, dude. That's actually sick. Do they not have the energy? Oh, they might not actually have the switch. Oh, they might not have the switch. That leads us to a good position here. But here's the other thing too. Attacking with the Greninja is actually not going to be too grand, because, yeah, see, attacking with the Greninja is not going to be all that great. Because if they do, that's where things can get a little messy. Okay, so this is actually not bad. We can conceal cards here. They actually hooked us up. Conceal cards, we can Training Court, grab ourselves a water energy, attach it here. I really want to find a Cape of Toughness, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get there. We'll go ahead and build up the other Vikavolt V though. That seems fine. No Cape of Toughness to be found. That is okay. We do get a knockout though. I don't think Raikou is gonna be needed in this game, and we can go ahead and dump this quick ball as well. Go get ourselves a Regieleki VMAX, evolve, and then get a knockout on the Cramorant here. So now they're under item lock. We've already taken the first prize. The only downside here is the fact that we do have only 100 HP. If they were able to find a card like Zigzagoon and then hit us with Greninja, that would be huge for them. But now they're in the position where they have to draw into that Zigzagoon. They can't utilize something like Quick Ball or Ultra Ball or anything else. They have to draw into it, utilizing cards like Colress's Experiment. So let's see what happens. That is like one of the only ways that they actually get like a huge knockout here, plus extra damage on the other Vikavolt. We shall see. We shall see. I guess what I could have done, actually, what I could have done last turn, Now that I'm seeing it, I could have Switch Cart into the VMAX and then healed 30 and then free retreated. So that could have actually been a really good play there. That could have been like a nice call, but we didn't see it. That's okay. Maybe they don't actually get a knockout this turn. Bright side is Training Court is in play. We can get this energy back, but we also have a Speed Lightning in hand, so that's not too bad for us. We also have energy in hand as well, where we can conceal cards, still draw 2, and Marnie to actually disrupt that monstrous hand going on over there. Now, I have a good feeling that they're going to retreat to keep the air balloon safe. Oh, they're going to go get... They don't have another Cramorant. Ooh, okay, okay. I don't hate that at all. We'll take it. Grabbing an electric energy out of the discard through Training Court like that. Okay. Seeing ourselves a Snorlax. Very well. All right, so Cape of Toughness. We'll put that on the one that isn't hurt, actually. We'll do this. We can go ahead and conceal cards away this water energy. Maybe now. We can actually do this now. We'll put that there. That seems fine. Do I want to switch card? I don't think I want to switch card yet. Now we can switch card. That seems fine. We'll switch card. We can free retreat into the Vikavolt V. And anything else I want to do? Regieleki VMAX can be a decent attacker, but I do think the right call here is we're going to Ultra Ball. Go get ourselves another Regieleki VMAX. Slam it down. Get that evolution in play. And just disrupt our opponent, Marnie. Gotta play the Marnie. And Temple of Sinnoh is huge here. Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get an energy out of the discard. We're going to go ahead and grab that electric energy. They're kind of important. And I think we'll Temple of Sinnoh. We'll put down the Temple of Sinnoh. Doesn't matter too much for us, but I don't want them to keep grabbing energy out of the discard. So when they use the Greninja, that energy's gone. That is kind of my big hope. So Snorlax is definitely stuck in the active here. There's nothing they can really do about that. Nothing at all. It's got too big of a retreat cost at 4. How much is in the... Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Already at 12. Goodness. Okay. I guess we can attach an energy here just in case this does stay in play for a little too long. We can conceal cards. Draw 2. Got a Forest Seal Stone. Don't mind that at all. I'm going to Marnie again. Just keep on disrupting them. Their hand is huge. I don't know what they got off that Colress. Might as well put it all back in the deck. Boss's Orders is very nice. We know we can at least get a knockout on something like the Greninja or a Comfey if we want to. So another 110 damage going down. Drapion, very useless in this matchup, so you can be Ultra Ball fodder if we need you. Most likely could use you to go get Fish, right? Ultra Ball him and something else away to get Fish to get another boss, get another huge knockout. Comfey and active with that air balloon. Being able to retreat for free is always nice in these kinds of situations. However, I think the one thing that hurt them the most is putting this energy on the Comfey. Because if they do want to use Sableye at some point, they're going to have to figure out a way to get that energy back into their hand or into their deck, which we've kind of stopped them from doing because they're item locked. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. Another Flower Seller. They only have 10 cards in the deck. That's it. That's all they get. Another Mirage Gate gone. We've completely item locked them. And I think the other really good move we made here is we do have this Vikavolt with 2 energy on it. So we could Super Zap Cannon for a big knockout. Yeah, so giving us the Oranguru here does make sense because we can't knock it out, but we do have boss in hand, so we are going to knock out the Comfey with the air balloon. That just seems like the right play to make. So Paralyzing Bolt, getting a knockout on the Comfey. No more free retreat. It's going to cost them an energy. We'll see if they hit anything they need now. So yeah, I think the one big thing that we could do is we can go get Fish. If they give us the Oranguru again, we can go get ourselves the Fishy. Fishy can go get us a boss out something like the Greninja or the Comfeys, get a knockout, and from there we can just super Zap Cannon. They only have one Mirage Gate left, so I think we're in a good position to literally just super Zap Cannon for the rest of the game. Boss's orders. Okay. Trying to make our Greninja stuck here. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Building up the Raikou. Alright. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach per turn here. We're going to go ahead and retreat into Vikavolt. Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball away the Speed Lightning and now Ultra Ball and the Drapion. You can do that. Get rid of those. Get ourselves the Fishy Fish. Fishy Fish can come down. We can say yes. Ooh, we don't have another boss's orders. That's a little bit unfortunate. A little bit unfortunate, but you know what? That's okay. We can go ahead and just grab this Melony here. We can start building up the fish, loop it back into the deck or something as another attacker if we need to. Ooh. Yeah, I think from here we just get the knockout on the Comfey. That is probably like the best thing that we can do here. Can we get the boss? No, we don't get the boss, man. Why? Why? It's in the prizes. We need the boss's orders. I mean, we don't really need it, but I'd like to be able to snipe that Raikou. That's the other really actual important thing here too, everybody, is the fact that we do swing 110. Raikou gets knocked out quite easily. So I don't hate that at all. Things like Rayquaza too, they're weak to electric Pokemon, so it's not that big of a deal to like not swing as hard, but it's nice that we can swing the 110 at the very least on the Raikou. They built up that Greninja. That Greninja is built up. Flower selecting. What are we going to see? What's getting tossed? A Sky Seal Stone. Okay. See, this is where I think maybe like throwing the Raikou away was possibly not the right call. Because you could Sky Seal Stone, get a huge knockout on Vikavolt V. And then take 3 prizes. And then I can't get the return knockout. I would have to utilize something like Super Zap Cannon to get the knockout, but I would also... No, yeah, no, Super Zap Cannon would get the knockout, but then you're out of the item lock. And they decked themselves out. Ooh, very unfortunate there. But yo, GG to my friend Doubles. Funny that we found them on the ladder, actually. Thank you guys for watching. This was the Vikavolt with Regieleki VMAX list, the runner-up from Late Night 75. And Randy, if you're watching, congratulations on your run. I'm super enthusiastic to see Vikavolt do so well. Like, I love that deck so much. I love that card with like all my heart. So congrats to you, and I hope to see more of it in future late nights, which you can make happen, everybody. Yes, check out the description and see when the next late night that you can join is. It's all free and you can win an amazing prize like a trip to Japan. So definitely check out the description. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps the channel grow, and we definitely want to reach out to more people so that way we can help them along their way in their Pokemon journey. Till next time, thank you, and I'll see you then.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at ptcgostore.com.
Are you trying to be the best like no one ever was? Now is your time. Head on over to Metafy.gg and search out all our amazing Pokemon TCG coaches, where you can book all sorts of training plans ranging from deck help to full season sessions with your favorite coach. What a great way to up your game. Check out Metafy.gg in the description below and take your game to the next level. Challenge yourself against trainers from around the world to compete for the biggest online prizing yet.
Are you ready for an unbelievable tournament unlike anything else you've ever seen before? The Shuffle Squad is proud to announce our newest tournament series, the Late Night Events, with an amazing grand prize that's bound to have you excited.
Players can compete via play.limitless.tcg.com's online tournament platform every Tuesday to get a chance to earn weekly prizes. And every week, your placement in the tournament is tallied by points based on your best finishes to earn your rank for the Late Night Invitational event.
The series will be conducted starting February 7th of 2023 and carry all the way through to the Invitational on July 9th of 2023, where the top players will be rewarded the grand prizing.
And the grand prize is a signed jersey and photo op with the entire Shuffle Squad, as well as a fully paid trip to the Pokemon World Championships in Yokohama, Japan. This includes hotel and airfare, whether you're a player or a spectator.
Don't forget to check out all the live coverage on our YouTube and Twitch channel of the top cuts of these events for every week. And subscribe so you can get notified where to watch the Late Night Events Invitational, brought to you by the Shuffle Squad. Now get out there and start winning. We'll see you in Japan.